So the other thing that the Browns now have to deal with is a run defense that struggled mightily against the Titans. Jim Schwartz was asked about that run defense against Tennessee.
The run defense was really two plays. It was a 65-yarder, our longest play of the whole year, where we looked like the Keystone Cops on that one. We ran into each other on two different times, knocked each other off, and just a really bad play for us. And then the 33-yarder, I think it was 33, which was a blitz, and we got cut out of a gap. And when you get cut out of a blitz, there's nobody that can make you right, and we paid the price for that one. When it was all said and done, the rest of their runs was something like, I think, like 2.6 yards a carry. So the biggest point there is you can't let your guard down. It's like being a boxer and you're winning on points, but you get knocked out. Not a good result. And for us, whatever. Yeah, I mean, you're on offense, and you run up 500 yards of offense, but you throw 4 interceptions. You can't say, well, we were great except for the 4 interceptions, and that's the way defense is too.
Yeah, it seemed like it was worse than that. And listen to Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is always pretty upfront and honest. But it just seemed like the run defense, maybe it's because they've been so good against the run and because I know what's coming with the Bears.
Yeah, but the Bears' running style is a little bit more to what we saw every week. Everybody seems to think that they're just going to challenge this Cleveland Browns run defense. And Tennessee didn't really do that. They kind of spread it out. They did a little bit different. Credit to Tony Pollard, because there's always those one or two guys in a game like that with a slippery track, a wet track. It doesn't look like it affects them anyway whatsoever. And Tony Pollard has not really been lights out in the year and a half plus he's been in Tennessee. But he had the footing. He had zero issues with the footing on, Sunday. And he's one of those guys that, that was his reputation in Dallas, is if you give him daylight, he's a guy that's really difficult to catch. Runs a legit sub 4.4. I think, and I give coach some credit because I think, there were a lot of blowing up of the run plays. But again, you get those one or two that just absolutely break your back and can turn around and basically be the difference in a game, which was 100% the case, obviously, in this scenario. And we'll see. It's getting later in the year. This Browns team is a little bit beat up. Not that other teams aren't. There's guys out there now taking some more reps than normally they do take. So, just because the defense has been great all year long, you'd like to see them be able to sustain this. But, missing a couple of bodies or some guys playing more than others, leads to, not having your best group of 11 out there.